Mirror Motivations, day 10 through 12. All right, so you're right about close to being halfway done with Mirror Motivations part 1. That's the developing your higher self part. That's the addressing the issues that we have, that all of us, that we have inside, and identifying who we want to become, and taking that next step and saying, here are the things that we are going to do in that journey. So for day 10 through 12, here you get to have a little fun, as I kind of alluded to in the previous video, and you actually start doing the things you've been planning and thinking about, and maybe even dwelling on sometimes. So for day 10 through 12, here we are going to visualize and practice your must examples. So, first and foremost, you're going to make sure you are continuing to follow your Mirror Motivations instructional guide. And you're going to look on day 10 through 12, and it's going to refer you to the visualize and practice your must examples. And so I'm going to put this on the window, or rather on the mirror. We really don't need it, but if anything, it kind of helps us continue to know where we are and what we're working on for the next 3 days. And now, if you notice, my mirror looks different. And what I've done, oh goodness, what I've done is I went and put up some of the previous mirror prompts that you have used. And on here, for day 1, 2, 3 through 3, you were to focus on who are you, and remember, you identified for each of the 7 aspects. You identified how you currently feel, at that most of the time, and then you built on that with who must you become. So now you said, okay, well, in this case, I'm relationship-wise, in my example here, I feel kind of distant. Spiritually, I feel lost, and this is who are you. Physically, I feel fat. That's not my case, but these are just examples. And so that was that day 1 through 3. Moving to day 4 through 6, to focus on, okay, who must you become? And using those same aspects, I want to go from distant to loving. I want to go from being lost spiritually to more connected. Physically, I don't want to be fat or feel fat anymore. And being and feeling are 2 completely different things, perception. But I want to be fine in case of a lady. All right, and so that's that transition now between who are you and who must you become. Now, just saying you want to become that's the first step, but it's a small step. The next step is living your must. How are we going to do that? What are some of the ways we're going to do that? And during that day, the last day, yesterday, for you went and for each of the areas, you thought about things that you could do. So for your living your must, when you did the exercise in the morning for relationship, if you said, okay, I want to, in order to feel more loving from the who must you become, I want to spend more time with my spouse, my children, all right? And throughout the day, this was the morning for living your must. Throughout the day, you thought about ways that you could spend more time. Okay? The actions that you can take regularly. And so that will also apply to the other examples here. So for spiritually, in the beginning, I felt lost, and I want to become more connected spiritually. What are some ways I can do that? Oh, I can meditate. I can study the Bible, study, some book of enrichment, if you will, and then for the day that we're coming to now, or the 3 days that we're coming to now, again, we're going to actually do some of those things. But I wanted to kind of step back and give you some examples in the different areas. In the beginning, physically, fat. Want to become? Fine. How I want to do that? In my particular case, or in your particular case, what you put down, and again, there's no right or wrong answer, it's what you want to do. What you put down was you exercise and nutrition. Notice I didn't say diet. Nutrition and diet are two different things. Diet tends to be the things that you do for a set amount of time. Getting proper nutrition for yourself should become a lifestyle, should become how you do things from that point forward. And in reality, what we're doing here with Mirror Motivations is the same thing. What you're doing now is not, I'm just, in order to feel more connected spiritually, I'm just going to meditate once or twice, or study, once or twice, and I'm good. No. In order to feel fine about myself physically, I'm just going to exercise 3 or 4 times, not eat anything at all, and I'll be good. No, those things don't work. You go right back to your old habits. So what you want to put into play, you want to build new skills. Notice again, skills, and what we talked about with skills, in that they require patience and time and focus and nurturing yourself. So what you're doing is you're building the skills, strengthening that muscle, if you will, and then you can take that muscle with you for the rest of your life, and you can continue to grow it and strengthen it and apply it to new and different things. Okay, so I guess I'm finally getting to what we're going to focus on for today, for day 10 through 12. So now, if you recall, and I guess starting here with physically would be a good part of it. So for today, for 10 through 12, visualize and practice your must examples. What you're going to do is you're going to go back to the things where, here for my living your must, you said, okay, physically, I want to exercise and nutrition. Now, what specifically are you going to do, and when are you going to do it, and for how long are you going to do it? Be specific, but make it something that you know you will do. All right? Don't say from an exercise perspective, I'm going to ride 10 miles a day on a bicycle, when you may not even do, let's say you don't even have a bicycle. All right? So you got to start with steps that will work for you, and that's going to vary person by person. So here for the day 10 through 12 of living our must, as in all the days before, you selected 2 different aspects and focused on those. For day 10, we're going to pick 2 aspects and focus on that. For day 11, 2, and focus on that. And day 12, as in always, there are 3, because you kind of built up that muscle and you know that, okay, I know how to do this now. All right. So here for day 10 through 12, you get to choose what you're going to focus on. All right. And so exercise, you want to go and think about, all right, what is it that I want to do? Exercise, it could be, I could say I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. All right. It could be, you could say I'm going to go ride my bike for 40 minutes. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. This is based on you. All right. And then for nutrition, you could say something along the lines of, I am going to not eat I'm going to reduce the bread that I eat. I didn't say cut bread out completely. I'm going to stop eating so much processed foods. I'm going to not eat out at stop, slow down, reduce the number of times I eat out at fast food places, McDonald's or what have you. I am going to eat more vegetables on my plate. I'm going to have a smaller portion of meat and add another vegetable. See, so there are so many different things that you can do, and all of them are each thing that you come up with, they are steps along the process. They are not the end result. Our focus is not getting to the end. Our focus is on embracing the process of bettering ourselves, of bettering yourself. So all of those things that I just thought of, you could use this opportunity on your mirror to kind of write some of those things down. So from a nutrition perspective, you could go and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat more vegetables. I'm going to eat more fruit. I'm going to eat less desserts. But ideally, you thought about this over the past 3 days, and you wrote that down in your journal. But once again, new ideas keep coming, and when you continue to have new ideas and new ways of doing things, that's really good, because now that means your mind is engaged in it. It's like, okay, I'm starting to like this now. So let me see what else I can come up with. Okay, so for day 10 through 12, what you're going to do is you're going to actually put down what it is that you want to do for 2 aspects, and you're actually going to practice doing them. So the visualize aspect is in there now. A component is listed there because some things you want to think through and see yourself doing it, and then you actually go out and do it. Day 10 through 12, that's what we're going to do. So in our guide here, it says take that moment in the morning and just visualize yourself experiencing the must examples you've created. So, man, if I go and walk, how am I going to feel about doing that? Man, I'm just going to feel great. I'm taking that step to getting a more fine meat in this particular case. And that's what you want to do in the morning time for those 2 aspects. During the day, you go and do those things. You make the time to do those things. I don't have the time. Yes, you do. You have the time. Period. You have the time. You just have to make that time. Put other less important things out to the side for a moment. All right. And then at night, your goal is to just reflect on your day. Reflect on how it felt to do those things that you did. And you will put that down in your journal. And your journal is going to ask you to say, okay, which aspects did you work on? It's open now. You can start wherever you want to start. And then when you did those things, what did you do? How did you feel about it? And so for the next 3 days, that's what you're doing. But this is where it gets fun. And now you're actually doing. Keep doing. And remember, it's the process. So everything is not going to go perfect. Maybe it does for you. But everything rarely is perfect. There are always challenges. Life in itself is fraught with challenges. And that's one thing you have to learn. It's not going to be given to you no matter how special you think you are, and you are special, but you're not special enough where life is just going to give you everything that you want. You have to go and earn it. And when you go and earn it as opposed to as opposed to having it given to you, you gain much more self-confidence, and you build that skill which will allow you to go and tackle other things. If it's given to you, you don't really change. And actually, when things are given to you, it tends to have a detrimental effect on you. in terms of you being able to do things yourself, your own inner strength. All right, so that was day number 10 through 12. Go and do it. Have fun doing it. Have fun doing it. See yourself doing these things and see how they're impacting will start impacting your life to get to your must. And once again, I failed to mention this in the previous videos, but I think I mentioned it in the day one. Remember, you are not alone in doing this. You got me. So feel free to reach out to me through that coaching@mirrormotivations.com email address. And if you need some additional support, reach out to me. I can help you. And I didn't mention this before, but I've strongly encouraged people to mirror motivate with a friend. Because now you have a greater sense of accountability. You two or three can feed off of each other. Well, what'd you do? I did this. Well, what'd you do? I did. Well, that's great. Okay, that's all right. So try to mirror motivate, with a friend. But if you have to do it by yourself, that's perfectly fine too. All right. See you on the next day. So the next day won't be 11. It'll be 13. Something like that. Okay. Go get them.